The most important thing that people should know about Sudan right now is that the narrative control over this situation is almost more important than the economic and political hold over this country and this continent. You need to understand that what is happening in Sudan is not a civil war. It is a proxy war funded by foreign powers who are enabling and fueling the genocide of innocent civilians. Imagine that your home had a lot of resources, and because of this, your entire country is being turned into a battlefield. Your family, your friends, your neighbors are being slaughtered because outsiders are fighting over the resources in your home. The very simplified picture is that Sudan has gold, and war is expensive. That gold is what is funding weapons, soldiers, and influence. Without the bankroll of money to support this war, it does not actually reach this point of unimaginable loss. The problem is that the narrative being painted is that this is a civil conflict between the national military and a local militia group called the RSF. But the RSF is genuinely like a gang of teenagers who could not have an iota of this impact without foreign governments pulling these strings. In the same way that the Palestinian genocide could not have happened without US involvement. The UAE, for example, a country that has zero natural gold, despite how much Dubai's wealth is advertised, is responsible for importing 90% of Sudan's gold exports, meaning that Dubai's conflict gold market is directly responsible for enabling groups like the RSF, which is effectively a terrorist organization that they are trading with. You also have Russian mercenaries, specifically the Wagner group, who are providing protection and logistics to these terrorist groups for access to gold. The RSF is also using Elon Musk's Starlink, which, like, if Al-Qaeda was using Starlink to target places in the United States or any other Western country, in what universe would there not be global governmental outcry for sanctions for these private interests or countries to cut off access to terrorist groups like this? And the silence from Europeans and China, who have control and ownership of many of these mines, is not neutrality, it's complicity, because their silence is actually profitable, especially during war, but more importantly, hypocritically something that they would outcry as morally corrupt if it were not African people being impacted. This war is not about two African sides fighting for power. It is outsiders fighting for profit. It's about possession to maintain power and resources while completely disregarding the human cost of such greed. There is this sadistic, deliberate obsession with controlling Africa's narrative, keeping it framed as chaotic, primitive, self-destructive, and hopeless, because when people only know that story, then you feel no empathy. And this confusion around what is even happening is the point. If the world cannot tell who the villains are, then no one can hold them accountable. So I would like to offer some solutions, maybe just a way to reframe the situation. So check out the caption for next steps.